Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel. Thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Omega Seamaster 300 Master Coaxial in titanium and Omega Sedna Red Gold. You can see and you can purchase this titanium rose gold diver on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this two-tone Omega Seamaster. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see this model, which debuted at Basel World 2014, cuts a more classical profile than the oversized Planet Oceans or the slim but long-running Seamaster 300 meter series from the 90s. This is a new model line that in a lot of ways reprises old styling ideas, paying homage to the original 1957 Seamaster 300, the first of the diving grade Seamasters. The watch is contemporary in size, however, at 41 millimeters across the round of the case, not inclusive of the rose gold crown. It has a stance across the wrist that's quite manageable, being 48 millimeters from lug to lug if you were to wear it commando style on a textile or a NATO strap, and from the solid end link of the bracelet to its opposite number, its true span across the wrist as equipped is 52.5 millimeters. Now it's not excessively thick at 15, but you can see that the bezel does overhang the case flank, so it can get caught up on the tightest of dress cuffs, but it should be fine for a sport jacket or a blazer, or even a loose sweater. Now the watch is light on the wrist. Although it has gold, it also has a lot of titanium in its composition, and perhaps it's the titanium that wins the day. The wrist impression is light and wieldy. It sits easily on the wrist, and there's a nice sense of balance to it in as much as the bracelet and the clasp nicely counterbalance the watch head. If you're of a mind to wear your watch loose on the wrist, this one's not going to be inclined to tip over or roll. Now you'll also note that the bracelet is beautifully made, polished on its outer facets, satin finished on the flanking links, and then a high polish Sedna 18 karat red gold down the center. Now Omega's Sedna red gold is essentially just like Rolex's Ever Rose in that it's a rose gold with a high percentage of platinum and palladium in it, which prevents it from oxidizing and turning lighter over the years, so very resilient. Now you'll note a high-grade milled-out titanium single-fold deployant buckle. Omega buckles have always been exemplary in the diving class, and you can see this is no exception. Twin trigger release, so it must be positively disengaged, not friction fit, it can't pop open, and it also features, let's see if I can push that slider down, it features a push-button quick adjust system that is easier to adjust incrementally than the all-or-nothing flip-out system, and it's also nice because you can give the watch with a rough idea of the recipient's wrist size, and then he or she can make the adjustments on the fly to fit the watch correctly. It's also useful for wear over a wetsuit, a dry suit, or a thick winter sweater, and of course it allows you to adjust the fit of the watch without the intervention of a watchmaker. Now you can see that the case is handsome and traditional. It doesn't have as much bevel to its lugs as the more contemporary Seamaster professional models, because it is inspired by the 1950s when beveled lugs were subtle or not at all. Of course, it does get some fantastic character, definition, and contrast out of what bevels there are. You can see the case band all of satin finished, the bevel nicely polished along with the lug top. The bezel, of course, is Sedna red gold, and it has a blue ceramic insert. So blue ceramic effectively as scratch resistant as sapphire. If you're not one to chip, crack, or shatter a sapphire crystal, this watch is going to enjoy long wearing scratch resistant durability on your wrist. Now the dial is vintage inspired. You'll note the absence of a date, so it's beautifully balanced. Just like the original Seamaster 300, it features somewhat sunken indices of applied vintage style or simulated patina luminova, and that simulated patina luminova is recessed in such a fashion that I actually get shades of the Panerai sandwich dials. I'm having flashbacks to the great sandwich dials that Panerai has perfected in its modern lineup. That's the aesthetic. It also adds depth and texture to the dial. Now of course it's a matte dial, so the contrast is excellent. The hands are beautiful and historically inspired, as you can see, the broad arrow style hour hand, and it has a little feature that makes life easier for world travelers, inasmuch as the caliber 8400 allows you to adjust that broad arrow hour hand forward or backward without affecting timing. Minutes and seconds continue, balance amplitude is unaffected, and of course, as it is a chronometer and it needs to be set precisely, there's a hacking or stop seconds function. The chronometer grade movement in this watch is known as the caliber 8400. Now, it's derived from the 8500, but it has a couple of refinements. First, it runs without a date for the vintage look, but second, it's also part of the new family of Matas chronometers that Omega is now producing. They're built in a special factory in Biel, Switzerland, and the Matas standard was developed in conjunction with the Swiss Federal Institute of Meteorology. So unlike the old COSC standard, this is a test of the entire cased-up watch, not a bare movement. The movement has twin mainspring barrels, pivots on 38 joules, and it has a 60-hour power reserve, solidly more than the industry standard 40 to 42. You'll note automatic winding with a free-sprung balance. It has robust resistance to shock-induced timing deviation thanks to a balance bridge that's anchored on both sides, as well as that free-sprung balance. But there's another feature you can't quite see, although the caseback hints at it, and that is the SI14 silicon hairspring that makes the watch robustly anti-magnetic, a nice feature to have in high-powered home and office environments, as well as in a world where magnets are ubiquitous on wallet, purse closures, and refrigerator doors. Finally, it is a nicely decorated movement. Although the decoration is machine wrought, nevertheless, it's unique enough and well done that you will want to see it, and Omega obliges. You can see and you can purchase this contemporary diver with vintage flair on our website.